And here we go. We've got our first crew coming in on approach. Coming in a little hot, I feel like. He's going to have to back off on this one. Let's see how the angle works out. Because I feel like, I mean, he looks like he's missing for sure. So there we go. He's kind of brake checked himself up to try and get it back to the right spot. But welcome back, crew, to the greatest show on earth. And that is the Miami Boat Ramps channel. I'm your host, Broncos Guru. And today we are down here visiting 79th Street. So goes, makes a wide turn. Gonna have to bow in on this one. Has to be careful with another boat behind him coming out. And he's going to go with a sharp bow entry on this one, as they're going to have somebody step out of the front of the boat, grab a bow line, but that's not going to make it easy still. He's still going to get the stern back around. I mean, I guess he could pop it in reverse real quick for a second and just hold that bow line and let it go back. And there you heard it smack the dock. So there's definitely a little bit of pause here as they're trying to determine the best course of action. So they're handing bags and stuff up, but not really worried about getting on the dock, and another boat's pulling out behind him again on the backside. I probably would have tried to get the boat on the dock first before I just started trying to get everybody in the bags off. But not this crew. They're going to hold tight and try and get everybody off, and then we'll worry about getting the boat on the dock next. I mean, priorities. He's kind of just shrugging his shoulders about it too, like, yeah, whatever, bro, we're good. So our Jetboat crew's already been ran off of one dock. They started backing down the lane, and somebody pulled in and snaked it on them before they could get the boat in, but as you can tell by watching here, part of that has to do with how long it was taking them to get the boat in the water. So here they're at least utilizing the full lane. In other words, they're just going to take all the space up, it doesn't matter, which, I mean, typically most people are only operating in a two-lane system here anyway at 79th, even though in theory you probably could squeeze down the middle if you wanted to. But that means he's not going to be really close to the dock when he gets this one launched, and they'll have to figure that part out. But the boat's at least going to touch water this time, which is a lot better than what happened the last time. As I mentioned, when they first started coming in, they were back over on like 6, and he was backing down and just took forever, and another boat came in and slipped in on him. And they just moved. They didn't even question it. My man actually just pulled right out and went over here to 2. And a little action down on the backside as our crew here is drifting back now. They're going to wind up having to push off this Robalo. So it gives them a little push. Part of the problem is the engine's not trimmed. You can see the engine's trimmed almost all the way up. And I think this lady's trying to tell him, like, we're getting the trailer now. So she's like, they're pulling in front of her, but she's like, yeah, we're trying to get our trailer to get this out of here. So I think they're trying to leave, though. I don't believe they're trying to stay. There you go. He gives them the hard kickoff. Maybe they're not. Maybe they're staying. And here we go. He's going to hard kick it all the way over to the other dock. I mean, I guess that's the easy way of switching docks. Just a nice hard push, float yourself over, and you should be good to go. And right there, I mean, when I say the trailer was there, you can see them backing in. They were literally, the trailer was there now. So that was one of the reasons she was kind of yelling at him like, yo, bro, we're pulling out right this instant. My trailer's right there. And still struggling a little bit. They finally got a line wrapped around, trying to get it pulled over. I just heard him smack the dock as well. So this guy's got this jet ski trailer way out of whack as he's trying to bring it back down. So setting it back up. So there we go. He's got the wheel going the right way to get it turning toward heading down the ramp. Getting a little close to the ramp now, though. He's going to be on top of the ramp with the truck basically here in a second. So as close as he is with the vehicle to the ramp, he's pretty much lost the ability to turn at this point. All he can do is try and keep it straight. So small turns, but I mean, you're on top of the ramp, bro. So continuing to back it down. How are you going to get out of the truck, man? So the trailer's turning here at the last second. He's not going to be able to get the door open. No way. And right there, yep, nope, we're just going to hit the door on the ramp as he's trying to get out. So hopefully he's thin enough to slide out through the door. And he is. And, uh-oh. So this was our Jetboat crew we just watched launch a few minutes ago. And we are coming back smoking and coming back. So something's wrong. So they're looking on the other side of the boat for some reason. Okay, so the smoke, I'm wondering if they're looking like over there to see if the cooling lines are coming, but there's smoke coming out of the cooling lines too. So something's definitely happened because there's smoke coming out of the right side, which is where the cooling line should be, where you would see water coming out, letting you know that water's filtering through the motors to cool them. And I've never seen smoke come out of those lines before, but there definitely was, it looked like. So they've got an issue somewhere. What's tough on these old jet boats, a lot of times when you'll see that, it could be a clog line. A lot of times what I see happens is these lines come off, which means you're actually filling the hull of the vessel up with water, which can be just as bad, but I don't see a bilge pump going crazy or anything like that. But I don't see anybody popping the engine compartment either to try and see what the heck's going on in there. So my guess is we're going to call it a day, and we're probably just going to put this one back up. But that stinks. They were only out for like 4 or 5 minutes maybe. And here we go, the birthday party crew working their way into the dock. Again, coming in bow. First, a little hot. Our guy's going to have to try and push off to break him here. Now, one thing I can say about this birthday party crew that I am a little happy about is I don't see any balloons. I mean, of course, that banner could have wound up in the water at some point in time, but man, the ones that annoy the crud out of me is when I see these birthday crews come in here and they've got 10,000 balloons they're taking on the water with them. They're tying them to the boat. They're taping them to the boat, like, and you just know they're going to go flying everywhere and just wind up in our waterways. So, my guy's excited to see the camera, which is just not uncommon down here. And they've got 2 lines, so it can't slide out too far, right? Our guy looked like he was trying to get onto the dock, and the stern just kicked out as they're trying to walk it up. But you can see the wind's kind of blowing based on what the banner's doing over there as well. And then here comes our excited crew in as they're trying to get on the dock. And Captain here looks like he's going to have a pretty easy time as he just gives it a little brake check and he winds up being good. Easy enough, and that crew's on and should be good to go. So our next crew looks like they've gotten themselves stuck on the back end somehow. I'm not sure exactly what happened here, but you can tell she's trying to push off. It's almost like the motor's stuck under the dock or something. But it looks like it's probably, I can't tell if it's a single or twin engine boat. So it looks like it's just a single engine, so maybe they just got the gunnel stuck under there. But they were fighting with it for a minute. We were filming something else, and I look over, and you just see this crew fighting to try and get themselves back off the dock. so they can try and get the boat around. So there she goes with a line attempt. Trying to go for the line toss over the pole. So our guy steps back onto the boat. I couldn't tell. I mean, she was going for a line toss. I was trying to tell if they're leaving or coming or going. I was having a difficult time. But once he stepped on the boat, I'm like, I think they're getting out of here. So I'm guessing they were backing out and somehow got the gunnel stuck under there. And now they got one of the rental jet ski companies right here working in on them as well. So there we go. He's finally going to back out and pull these skis out of the way. And our crew here should be good to get out of here now. He's working on getting them lines away. But it has turned into an amazing day down here, man. Just beautiful, beautiful weather here in the fall in Miami. Finally not too hot. I know some of you probably are not saying the same thing depending on where you are in the US, but let me know in the comments, where are you guys watching from? It's always interesting to hear and see where everybody's actually watching the channel from. So our next crew's coming in down the far end, kind of sliding off the dock a little bit. So Cap will brake check it, try and get this one backed in and onto the dock. Nobody's really doing anything though. That's my favorite part of some of these things when you watch them sometimes. Like, nobody's grabbing a line, nobody's trying to go for a toss onto a pole. Nobody in the boat's really doing much. Now that one's kind of on Cap. He's the one who's got to direct him. And it looked like he just kind of gave the hand motion that the wind and current's trying to pull him off the dock a little bit. And of course, now Cap's the one who's going to step away from the helm to go ahead and try and grab onto the dock. But again, that's on him. He's just got to give the instructions. And we'll see if this crew does any better, as we've got Mom this time taking the helm and going to try and guide the crew in. But I mean, already they're off to a better start. This crew's grabbing lines. They're getting the boat on the ready. There's no fenders out, but I mean, that's not necessarily like something you have to have, I guess. I mean, heck, nobody uses them down here. So, I mean, just the fact that he's got a line in his hand puts him ahead of most of the boats we see. So she's coming in, looks pretty solid. Starting to make that turn to get the bow to kind of come alongside. Soft touch brings it in. We've got 2 crew members off. 3 crew members if we count the dog. 1 line and somebody else hanging onto the dock. And Cap's not had to leave the helm once. So if you're taking any advice out there, follow her path. Have the crew ready. Let them know what they're doing before they get to the dock. And here comes our next crew up on approach. We've got a young lady stepping up into the bow. We got at least 1 fender out, so crew's kind of on the ready here. And as you can tell, it's starting to get dark, which means it's starting to get busy down here at 79th, as we've mentioned many, many times. One of these days, I promise you guys, I'm going to have to come down here and go live from 79th at night, once it turns dark, just so you guys can see and understand what it's really like down here after the sun goes down. It is just absolute chaos. Now, I couldn't do it this fall. I'd probably wait until the spring when things are kind of kicking back up again. But, so, Cap makes their turn. So, it appears the fender's on the wrong side now. So, they had a fender out, but we're not even going to use it because we're not going to come in on that side. Part of the problem with trying to get things ready before you actually get to the dock sometimes. So, he's going to leave the helm. The stern's going to come in first. But they wind up being okay. And even without the fender, nothing too crazy right there. As Cap's giving the instruction on where to put the lines. So we've got another Jetboat, it appears, coming down the channel over here. And again, so he's having to switch lines. So that's one of the big keys. Is it's tough sometimes when you're trying to get ready in the channel and you don't know what dock you're going to be on. So it's much easier kind of like right now. Like right here, we're pulling in. Cap's going to decide what dock he's going to. I've got somebody in the bow like, hey, you know what, man? Go ahead and put those lines on the port side. We're going port side. Or go starboard. We're going starboard. At least then when you do that, you're not trying to scramble to change lines last second. So Cap stopped, pause, gonna go ahead and decide which lane he's gonna go for here. So he's backing up and gonna come back to one of the other lanes. My guess is he's going to try and go on 2. So, and you can tell by the way the guy's setting the lines up on the other side, that's probably accurate. So I say that, and then he makes this super wide turn as he's trying to come around to it, which almost makes me think he would have been better off going 3. So Cap's going to try and bring it back around, get it lined up in the right direction. So fender out, 2 lines on the ready, 2 crew members ready to go. And it looks like the truck up here is backing down in the lane that he's decided to come down. So that jet ski's in front of him, though, already, so that one's not going to be a big deal. It'll be out of his way. So slow roll approach as we're trying to drift in. But you can kind of see the wind on the flags on the left is blowing the opposite direction, really slowing that down. But there we go. Oh, he pulls it over, but the bow's going to come in on him, so he jumps off to try and push it off. But that also means the stern's going to kick out. So we got somebody over there with the stern line. Did he hand her the other line back? He did. And there we go. Moves down to grab the stern. But for a minute there, I thought they were losing the bow line as well. But fortunately, she reaches her hand out and winds up grabbing the pole. As our guy decides to get this one pulled over. And there we go. Get the good step off there in the back. The crew will start getting this boat ready to unload. And they should be good to roll from here. So even as I was saying, it's busier later here. It's kind of interesting. It's not crazy yet, which is usually around this time where it really starts to pick up and there's not a ton of action. But here in the fall, things do start to slow down a little bit, just like everywhere else in the boating world. So this is one of the first times I think I've ever seen somebody on one of these jet cars actually getting out to put lines on. Usually they just roll up to the dock and smack it a couple good times and then hold on to a pole until somebody comes to help them. So he grabs the lines, heading in on a dock. I think he thought he was going to go in front of this boat, but I believe the vehicle we see up there in front of him is backing in to be able to pull this boat out. So wisely decides to stop. And we'll reassess the situation and try and determine another dock to go to. So starts to work their way back around to try and figure it out. I guess, I mean, they're kind of everything's full right this second, so he doesn't have a ton of options. And I think he's figuring that one out as he just got really close on that boat there. So I thought he might be able to go down to 6, but this other boat's still trying to make their attempt over there also, and takes the easy handoff on the line once they got close. Whole lot easier when somebody's already on the dock ready to help you out. When you can just be like, hey bro, here's the line. Go ahead and pull me up. Boat hook will do the same thing for you if you got a boat hook though. As our girls trying to get that stern line over and they get that boat bumped in. And our jet car's just kind of circling around. He's out of the shot now, but there's nowhere really for him to go. So he's going to have to wait a few minutes for some of this to clear out. But again, we mentioned earlier, getting busy. Now it is busy. There's like 2 boats on every dock right now waiting to get pulled out as crews are trying to get out of here and end their day. And speaking of ending their day, we're going to go ahead and end our day here as well. Thanks for watching, crew. Hope you enjoyed this episode of Miami Boat Ramps. If you did, please check out our other content. We have Wavy Boats, who does a bunch of great things down at the inlets. My channel, Broncos Guru, do some great comedy boating videos there as well. And of course, we got Boats versus Haulover, where man and machine take on Mother Nature down at Haulover Inlet. And if you guys haven't already, go ahead and drop an anchor on the subscribe button here.